Yes, people. So I'm going to talk to you about the top 3 issues with UK grassroots coaches. Let's go. So number one, we're going to start with the coaching issue in the UK. This is, again, before I start, not all coaches, but these are for the majority of coaches in the UK that I can tell you there's a lot more doing, the bad than there is doing the good in order for us to develop. Because remember, the moment you put yourself in this position to go and coach a child, you are then effective saying, whatever I'm going to instill in them, they're going to be able to have that into them into their late 20s, 30s, whenever they're playing football. It's a serious job. You understand? We don't look at it that way as if doctors and surgeons who have to practice in terms of life and death. It's not obviously the same level in terms of football, but you're talking about life and death in terms of whether they're going to be successful or not. Prior to other things that the individual needs to do, yes, but also you could put the right and wrong foundations in their building blocks that can ultimately affect the destination when it comes to time for them to be selected or given contracts, etc. You understand? So we're talking about coaching. We're talking about now in the UK. The biggest issue for me is that the badges, everyone's got FA level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, whatever it is, and you wait for A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and yet there's many of them that cannot teach. Coaching and teaching is two different things. For example, someone can coach. When you talk about coach, the coaches can only explain why and how very well. Why and how. The best teachers, best coaches, should I say, the best managers are teachers. You hear people talking about Arteta as a teacher, Pep, Thierry Henry is a great teacher of the game. There's teachers of the game. Xavi, Iniesta, these guys are teachers of the game. So for example, when you hear these guys talk, they talk about what needs to do, what the person needs to do, when that pass needs to be made, who needs to go there, where do you need to position your body. They talk about the details that a lot of grassroots coaches do not understand yet. So therefore, in the FA model and how they're teaching coaches, they need to include these modules in understanding what, when, who, and where, so that the coach then becomes the teacher. Because for example, like in PE in the UK system, there's great coaches. Go inside, they put a lovely session. Yeah, lovely, James, blah, 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 blah. Session's done, they go home. The best ones are teachers that are able to proper go into detail on the actual individual technique and the mental attribute, the physical, the social, they incorporate everything. And not only that, they're able to say, here's homework. This is what you're going to do now. I want you guys to be doing 100 passes a day. Here's your tick box on your sheet. Bring it into next session. Your mum and dad's got to sign it. They love teaching and they want you to take it into your own life and also get better. And also they give the child or the student the chance to teach themselves, or the whole session is based on the actual student. This is where the model on how we teach in the UK is more skill based, where it's a warm-up, skill, game. Whereas there's another model which is known as TGFU, when I was coaching, is for me the better, which is basically teaching games for understanding, is where you start with a game with a condition centered around it, and the whole model in terms of bringing them together, make them understand where they went wrong, see it, bring it to a skill, then evaluate the whole session again, bring it back into a game. That model has a better success rate on the person bringing their skill into a game than just learning skills. So the coaching style in the UK has to be changed. But like I said, in the UK, there's a lot of coaches, but there's a few teachers, and that's the big issue. Let's go to number 2. The issue with this one, number 2, and I want to say again, is blocking links. I say it again. Coaches blocking links, blocking players from moving to the next level. I know one guy, I won't mention his name, brilliant player, and the coach had a West Ham scout to come and look at him, and the West Ham scout said, yeah, I've been coming here for the last 6 weeks and I've been watching X, Y, and Z, number 10. And he's like, okay, yeah, what about him? Yeah, I think he's good. I think we're going to offer him something here. No, you don't want him. Look at number 7, which was his son. This is a true story, by the way. And he said, yeah, he's all right, but I like number 10. And then he purposely, listen to me now, he purposely did not play him for the next 3 weeks. Played his son in his position, his son didn't get scouted, but the West Ham scout came the third week and said, how come you're not playing? Some sort of attitude problem. You know how it is, da 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 da. And he's like, oh, attitude problem. Oh, okay. But this is a true story, by the way. True story. And the reason why, and when the guy left after 4 or 5 weeks, then he started playing 4 games. He did play the other 3 weeks, but he wasn't starting. He was playing the last 10 minutes, and he was age 14. This is an under 14 player. So this is the stuff that's happening in grassroots, and even more. Scouts are getting approaching coaches. Coaches doesn't want to forward on the player, and so what they're doing, they're blocking them from moving forward. This is happening way too often, and I'm telling you, there's more stories I can give where I've seen this. You know, I just say every grassroots coach, your job is to build, establish certain things and release. Build them up, establish certain things and release them if you can release them. But these grassroots coaches want to keep them because they want to win a title. Listen, winning your district or whatever league it is in the amateur league doesn't cut it. It doesn't cut it. You understand? But some coaches don't want to feel that way. A lot of these coaches, they want to, you know, yeah, we've got the best striker in the league, blah blah blah. And as I've known guys who've actually built built grassroots clubs and funded the whole project, so that, and you know, giving them the best equipment, giving them the best coaches, and then once their son gets scouted to a professional academy, which is a true story. One of the boys got scouted to go to Crystal Palace. He's out there now. Once it was happened, then he pulled away the funding and then let the parents have to do whatever, because the whole objective was, I'm going to create a team for my son. Once my son gets in, I'm done with the whole thing. There's a lot of foolishness that's happening like that in the UK. And I like to say this, whatever you sow, you'll reap. Let's move on. The third and last one is also the issue is recruitment. If we're going to still not understand that football is not about size, but again, there's a lot of coaches that hinder players or harbor players because they're not physically weak. A lot of players will not come into their physical strength in different phases of time. But what they should learn is know how to put the body between the ball. Simple. If you could put the body between the ball and know, and this is another thing about learning how to, you know, shield the ball, protect the ball, know where the player is, being aware. Listen, that goes beyond just using your body strength. No matter how strong you are, if you can put the body between the ball and learning how to shield the ball, manipulate the ball, then ultimately that person will have to give a foul. Simple. This is where agility and stuff comes in. But then most UK grassroots coaches focus on speed, power, and strength. I've seen players, I know mums are coming to me and said, yeah, he's not going in no more because they wanted a bigger striker. You know, oh, they said that he's too small, so he's got to play him as a fullback, you know, not in the middle because he's too small. And I just said, you know, all right. And I happened to get them to a new club. And for me as a grassroots coach, your whole point is, if a player's got the ability to play there, then let him play there. If he's getting physically outrun, let him get physically outrun. Then you've got to learn how to tell him how to prepare, how to put your body in between the ball, etc. When to play the 1 touch, when to turn, when to play the 2 touch, when to dribble, all that stuff come in. A smart footballer will always be a physical player any day. Simple. The ball moves faster than anybody. Simple as that. But then coaches, particularly most UK coaches, do not want to teach this information because they're about the wins. I don't care if a team's slapping out a team 10-1. For me, it's about the development. That's why in some countries in overseas, they don't even take the score. They don't even take the score because there's a development. It doesn't mean anything. Spain, I remember they said this. Spain said they weren't really too focused on them losing the under 16s, under 14, under 18s, under 20s, Euros. England will always dominate those age groups majority of the time because of the physicalness of, you know, the players. Yes, we've got a few techie players, but you know, the foundation is built of physical prowess over most of the nations that they're playing against. The moment they hit adult age, this is the different level that we're talking about. And they've always said it. Germany, Borussia Dortmund, they don't care about the scoreline, nor do Ajax. They don't care. As long as there's development taking place and there's players feeding in from the academy to the first team or playing, that is all they care about. Not about the results. So let me know what you think about this, coaches, showcase teams, etc. And let's keep going.